in that story, the great miracle, the great wonder of creation is that the chaotic power of water is limited. The writers obviously had experience of the potentially destructive power of water, and God gradually creates order. And the story, you who know it will recall, is structured like a poem. Each stanza depicts a day of creation and ends with the refrain that God saw it was good. And after the day when the first human being is created, it is even said it was very good. This is followed by a seventh day, which is a real climax, when God rests. So creating is exhausting, even for the origin of the creative power itself. So the first creation story tells us that human beings, both women and men, are created in the image of God. And this principle is reflected in the first article of the 1948 Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which states that, quote, all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights, end of quote. But this first account of creation has also given us the understanding that humans should, quote, fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds and the air, and over every living being that moves upon the earth. Genesis 8:28b. And this has often been taken to mean humans are the crown of creation, with the right to rule over and exploit the rest of creation in boundless hubris. And this thought, or what's called in theology the dominium terrae, was famously criticized already in 1967 by historian Lynn Wright Jr. In an article in the journal Science. And he saw in this idea the driver behind environmental degradation and the current climate crisis, one must add. And he certainly had a good point there. The second creation story, in a sense, cures the human hubris that wants to find support in the first creation story. In this one, it is not about setting limits to the chaotic powers of water. Here, the problem is instead lack of water. The authors must have had experience of deserts, because the great miracle is that the land is watered and things can grow. This creation story has a different approach than the first. It focuses on relationship rather than on order. And it seems to me that the first one has been more influential throughout the history of Western Christianity. And the emphasis on order over and above relationality surely came with a price.